Welcome back to part 2 of the return of the Metallica M72 No Repeat Weekend World Tour. Today I shall be flying solo. If you enjoyed the first part of this video, I hope you enjoyed the second as well. I will eventually go ahead and splice the two together just to have one longer video, but let's go ahead and let's get right into it. Starting off with the M72 No Repeat Weekend Tour, day number 2, the bands this time around were Suicidal Tendencies, followed by Panta, and then of course leading up to Metallica going ahead and being the headliner again, but with a whole different set list from songs that they had played the previous night. Starting off with Suicidal Tendencies, I gotta say, getting there, I kinda didn't really care. Against the band personally, I don't have any personal connections. The only Suicidal Tendencies song that I'm even aware of is the one they had on Guitar Hero, Institutionalized, and they played that like second. So from after the second song, it was all over the place for me personally, having no idea what to expect. Not necessarily particularly interested in Suicidal Tendencies as a band, I gotta give credit where credit is due. I thought they were fun to go ahead and watch.
In life, it's an inevitability when you do something you're not supposed to do and somebody else in mind, you got a fucking problem. But the fucking people that are telling you got the fucking problem. Never be judged by someone that's too scared. You see, there's a lot of ways things say. Try to make you feel better, so you can understand and tolerate the shit you never should tolerate. But it ain't Socrates, and don't take Plato. It's clearly signed simple. You see, sometimes I try to do things, and it just doesn't turn out the way I want it to.
Granted, I didn't really understand what the singer was saying half of the time. Sometimes he would stop and interject between songs and kind of ramble a little bit on like not doing drugs and being a good person, which is all fine. It just kind of a little manic in the way that he came off. As far as openers go, I gotta say, Suicidal Tendencies was certainly not my favorite. Not that they were necessarily bad by any means, but everything was just fine. From what I can tell, knowing nothing or at least very little about the band, they kind of give me a very angsty, confused teenage vibe, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think the song Institutionalized can actually portray that band fairly well. The idea of being an angsty teenager, societal pressures telling you what to do, what to say, and then blaming you if you come out wrong. I think that there is something of value in a band like that and songs like that, even if it may not necessarily be my cup of tea. Let's get into the return of Panta.
Next song is called Mouth for War.
Say this is the second time I've seen Panta, and this is the second time that I have watched them not play the song they used in Dragon Ball Z Legendary Super Saiyan, the Broly movie, the first one anyway. They used the song Tens in that movie. Well, it's not the best song ever. I just kind of have a lot of nostalgia for it. And the other song I would have loved is the one they play in that episode of SpongeBob Hibernation, where it's because Panta was a guest on SpongeBob. And I just think that's neat. Panta again after a couple of years, it's just an absolute treat. I really do want to go ahead and see them on their own separate tour someday. Hopefully that they can go ahead and play more songs and maybe play the songs that I'm waiting for. But it was a lot of fun. I think that Pantera still has this great energy. I think the second show for Metallica is certainly more fitted for like old school metal fans versus like the more high energy fun stuff of Limp Bizkit and Ice Nine Kills. Pantera has that low, slow, hard, heavy, gravelly sound. I really like it. I could see if someone might be turned off, but clearly by the crowd, a lot of people were there to go ahead and see Pantera. Of course, Pantera does play a bunch of fantastic songs. They, of course, ended with Cowboys from Hell. And in honor of my friend Derek, they did, of course, play Walk. It was nice to go ahead and see Pantera again. Every time they come on stage, I just want to see more. I want to talk with the singer, have a beer, maybe a whiskey, because he seems like such a really cool dude. One thing that did catch me off guard, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, the dude walks around on like the stage barefoot, and I'm just like, sir, do you know how dirty that stage is? But weird things aside, Pantera once again absolutely knocked it out of the park. Clearly they were a crowd favorite. People were going nuts in the mosh pit, pushing each other, getting really rowdy, and it was great. It's a lot of fun. It is always a joy to see Pantera, and I really can't wait to go ahead and see him again. We go ahead and we get back to the big boys themselves, Metallica. Seeing them for the fourth time and the second time on this exact tour only a day later, I think that, once again, the second show for Metallica was the better show for them specifically. I feel like the day one had a better vibe with Ice Nine and Limp Bizkit, but I will say that Metallica's set list, I think, was better. I felt that their energy was better. There's just something that was lacking, and maybe it's because it didn't rain and get us all disgusting and wet, but Metallica really seems to bring it on the second night. This is, of course, when you're going to hear a lot more favorite songs like Whom the Bell Tolls, Whiplash, Ride the Lightning, and of course they end this particular night with One and Enter Sandman. They also played Lux Eterna and Screaming Suicide, two songs that I actually really do like from the, well, I say new, but the newer album, 72 Seasons. And once again, they just kind of knocked it out of the park like they always do.
Philly is awesome! Woo! We love it here. Kirk's buying a new house tomorrow, and we're all invited to that party, so get ready. He's gonna cook soup for all of y'all. Anyway, look, Kirk and I love to jam, man. We love to have fun, and we're just gonna like keep it real and throw it all out there right now. We whipped something together for you, and I think you're gonna like it. It's kind of crazy. You ready for this, Kirk? All right, we've been working on this for a few hours here, so bear with us, and God bless us all. Here we go. Woo! All right, here we go.
Yeah! necessarily of note particularly happened or anything like that. Kirk didn't fuck up any solos, no pyro issues, nothing like that. But it's just an absolute blast seeing these guys again playing all of these songs that I love so very, very much. And of course, they would stop at points. James would talk to the audience a bit. He had a bit where he was talking about, you know, getting help and not killing yourself, like literally, which is always nice to go ahead and hear. You know, people associate metal with like darkness and death and black and misery, which I suppose can be some inspirations for a lot of songs out there. But the music itself, I feel, has a better tendency to bring people together versus driving them apart and killing each other. Well, maybe the mosh pits would say different, but that's neither here nor there. Overall, it was just an absolute blast to go ahead and see Metallica again. I really wish I had more to say, but I've kind of already said it before. Every time I see them, I get more and more invested, and I remember that I want to go back and I want to find new songs that I may not have appreciated, maybe listen to albums all the way through again and have a newfound appreciation for these gods of metal. Moving on to merchandise, there are no additional shirts that I had purchased. You'll notice that the thumbnail for this video looks suspiciously similar to the one for the first night of the M72 tour. It was the same devil guy, but like there was eating a sandwich. So the first night was the devil eating one side, and the other was a second devil eating the other side of the sandwich. I was a little disappointed. I was hoping it was going to be the squid monster, the Cthulhu thing, because that was really, really cool. But unfortunately, the shirt was so similar to the first one that I couldn't justify spending $45 on getting a second shirt. I'd already gotten two from the night before. So that's it. I'm done. No more for me. I am good. Thank you very much. Ultimately, this tour is just as great as it was the last time. The addition of Limp Bizkit was absolutely fun, and it was great to go ahead and see Pantera again. But I am curious on what Metallica is going to be cooking up next. Are they going to be working on another album? Are they going to tour again? I don't know. They are getting up there in age. I believe they're all in their 60s at this point. You may not necessarily, they sound phenomenal, you know, especially considering their age, and they still bring that good metal that we all love them for. But I'm curious as to what the next step would be, because to me, the M72 tour is just perfection. 2 nights, 2 different shows, different set list for Metallica. So you get to see like an extended list of Metallica where normally you might get 12 songs. Well, now you get 24. It's great. It's so much fun. They bring around bands that I may have never listened to before or maybe never even heard of, like with the first time when I went to go see them. And it's just a great event. Situation always sucks ass, but that's never ever going to change. So if you want to go ahead and see the M72 World Tour, do it. You're doing yourself a disservice by not taking the chance and having a real blast. Personally, I think the 2-night tickets are worth it. If you can't swing it, go whichever night you can and enjoy. Go with your homies, have a few beers, and enjoy the music, because that's what it's there for. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.